So I made one of these videos a really long time ago. I believe the last time I made one of these videos was whenever I first started my YouTube channel. And this is called the Furry Friend Tag. Now, I have 5 cats, so I decided that I was going to somehow manage to put all of them into this video. Like, answer the questions about each and every single one of them. So yeah, I'm sorry if this video is a little bit long. But you guys know I love cats, and you don't really know much about my cats other than the fact that I have lots of them and I love them, and that they're sometimes nutcases. So I thought that I would make this video so you guys can kind of get to know them a little bit better. And yeah, I think I might even include my cats that have passed on, just because I don't want to leave them out, and they were my kitties too. Yeah, this is an older tag, but I still wanted to do it. Alright, so we'll start off with this one right here. This is my little gray and white jelly bean right here. She's kind of chunky. Her name is Kitty Carla. We don't spell her name with a C, it's with a K-A-R-L-A. But that is her name, and her sister's name was Ella, and Ella has passed on. I will include a picture in here for you guys to see. But they were sisters. They came out of the same litter of kittens, and we love them both dearly. They were so close with each other, which is kind of sad, but Ella's still here. I know she hasn't really gone anywhere. Second was, what kind of pet is it and what breed? Well, Ella and Carla, as you can see, are cats. All of these pets in this video are cats. And I believe that Ella was a tortie, and I don't know what that would make Carla. I guess that would make her a tortie as well. I don't know, because cats don't really have breeds. It's more of just like whatever color fur that they have. How long have you had your pet friend? Well, I have had Ella and Carla since, I want to say I was about 12 or 13. 4 is, how did you get your pet? My sister's ex-boyfriend actually gave them to her because their cat, you know, had kittens and they were trying to get rid of them, so we decided we would take 2 of them, and Carla was my sister's cat and Ella was my mom's cat. How old is your pet? They are about 10 years old, even though they don't look like it. And then 6 was, what is your favorite memory with your pet? So I'm going to say one for each of my kitties. And so my favorite memory with, I'll have to come back to her, but I know that Ella, one time I was sitting on my couch and I had just took a big swig of this strawberry soda and it was in my mouth, and all of a sudden my mom starts laughing, I mean hysterically laughing over nothing, and I said, what's so funny? And I looked around the corner of our couch, and right there was Ella, and she was just this little tiny kitten at the time, and she was carrying this ginormous potato that was like 10 times bigger than her head. It was so funny, you guys. I started laughing immediately and the soda came out of my nose. Oh my god, it burnt so bad, but that was my favorite memory with Ella. My favorite memory with Carla, I think it was pretty much the same thing. She had found a biscuit on our counter or something. She had been up there when she wasn't supposed to be. She was also a kitten and very tiny at the time. And she was sitting there chewing on this biscuit, like trying to eat it, even though it was like 10 times bigger than her head. So yeah, they liked to find food to eat off the counters. What are some quirky things about your pet's personality? Well, Ella, she was kind of feisty. She had a really sassy attitude, and she kind of reminded me of Churchill from Pet Sematary. You guys know I had to throw something horror related in here because I'm obsessed. But she kind of reminded us of Churchill, like she was kind of mean, but she also had like this little nicer side to her as well, which but she also loved water. Like anytime I would take a bath, she would come and sit on the side of the bathtub, let her tail sway back and forth in our bathtub, and while there was water in there, like she loved water. And as for Carla, Carla loves to sling litter out of the litter box whenever she's using it, because I guess she assumes that she's going to be a really hateful look right now. I guess she assumes that it's covering up her like poo-poo or pee or whatever, I don't know. but she slings it and it just goes all over the place, and sometimes she even gets it in her fur and we have to sit there and pick it out. So there's a funny, quirky thing about her. She also loves to cuddle. Like anytime you're laying down with a soft fuzzy blanket, she'll want to be right beside you. Number 8 is, what does your relationship with your pet mean to you? And this is pretty much going to be my answer for all of my cats. All of my cats mean the world to me because there was a point in time when I was really depressed. You know, I did not want to get out of bed. I just wanted to die pretty much. I had a reason to get out of bed every day, and that was taking care of my cats. It means a lot to me, and, you know, I'm not like some people who just, you know, throw their animals off to the side and say, well, you know, it's just a cat, this and that. Like, my cats mean the whole world to me. I'm sorry I keep looking off. Like, I'm looking in my mirror to make sure that my camera's still recording because I don't have a front screen camera yet. Once they come into my life, they are in a really good home. Like, I'm going to take good care of them from there on out. Like, they just pretty much saved my life. So, my relationship with my pets mean the world to me. Number 9 was, what are some of your favorite pastimes with your pet? I guess favorite memories with your pet? I know whenever they first brought Ella and Carla home, Carla just like fell asleep on my dad's shoulders, and like she slept so much, and it was the most cutest thing in the world. She loved to jump up on the counter when we weren't like paying much attention. And if we had food setting up there, we had to watch because she would jump up on the counter and you would look, you would hear like this crunching sound and you would look and there's Ella eating a taco or something. I just loved taking baths with her. Like anytime I went to the bathroom to take a shower, she would come in there and, you know, just want to sit by the bathtub because she liked water for some reason. Then it says, what are some nicknames that you call your pets? So some of these are strange. I don't know how we really came up with them, to be honest. We did. Like, they just kind of came about out of nowhere. For Ella, we used to call her Snail. Now, I know that's really strange. Trying to find something that rhymed with Ella, and the only thing we could think of was Snella, so we started calling her Snail for some reason. And it was so funny because she literally thought that was her name. And as for Carla, there's so many for her. Tinky, T-Tar, TT. So there was Ella and Carla. Now I'm going to go get the rest of my cats and bring them in here one by one and answer the questions for them as well. Now this right here is my kitty, and her name is Duchess Marie. And I actually got her name off the Disney cartoon, The Aristocats. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, but if you haven't, the white cat on there, her name is Duchess. And I decided that I would add a little T into mine just because I thought it sounded better. And also the Marie came from the little white kitty that's on there. And that was one of my favorite Disney movies, so that was the reason why I chose to name her that. She is a tabby. I have had Dutchie since I was 11 years old. She was the first cat that I ever really considered my own that I ever got, so she meant a lot to me. My sister actually had a friend whose cat had had kittens, and she had several kittens before this, and they had to get rid of these 2 kitties because, you know, they were mischievous. They got into a lot of stuff, and her dad did not really like that, and so she decided to give us 2 kitties. So we actually had 2, Dutchie and her brother. And we ended up giving her brother to my sister's ex-boyfriend and kept Dutchie. Dutchie is 11, getting ready to turn 12 years old. It's so sad because I got her when I was 11 and she is 11. So that's kind of sad for me. See, Dutchie likes jumping on the trash can to get onto the counter. And there was this one time my dad did not have the lid on the trash can all the way. And I kept telling my mom, you know, she is going to eventually jump on that thing, the lid's not going to be on there all the way, and she's going to fall inside of it. So, sure enough, one day came, the lid wasn't all the way on the trash can, she comes over, she jumps onto the trash can, and she's going like this, like trying not to fall down in the trash can, and I laughed so hard that I literally was crying. Like, it was so funny, and she didn't actually fall in the trash can, we got her before she did, but it could have ended so badly. And I have so many favorite memories with Dutchie. Like, that cat is my entire world. I always considered her like my partner in crime, so I have a lot, and I'm sure that there's more, but that's the one thing that really popped into my head. So something funny that Dutchie does is she loves to sit there and stare at you. She used to do this to me all the time, and now she does it to my dad because he feeds her a lot. So, like, you'll be sitting somewhere, and all of a sudden you'll look over, and Dutchie will just be sitting there, like, intensely staring into your soul. And you guys have probably seen it in my cat vlog videos, and if you haven't seen those videos, I'll leave them in the description box below so you can go check them out. But I think it's really funny because I put that song by, I think it's like Maxwell and Michael Jackson. It's called I Always Feel Like Somebody's Watching Me. And like every time I see her do that, I start singing that song. Another thing is that she loves food. Like, she loves food so much. She's me, pretty much. She loves to be fed. She loves to eat. She used to ride on my back like a parrot. Like, she used to like climbing on my back when I'm holding her. And then I walk around the house and kind of give her like a little ride. Like, she used to love that. Oh, also when she was a kitten, we used to have this stuffed animal. It was a bunny. It came from Easter or something. And I had this big body pillow. And she would stand on the body pillow and she would sit there and pounce, or what they call making pancakes. And she would have to have, like, bite down on either the bunny's paw or its ear. And it was so cute because she would sit there and prance like that, and she wouldn't do it unless I was in the room with her and I was watching her do it. So it was kind of like a mother-daughter thing. And yes, I do consider my cats like my kids. I call her Dutchie, which is short for Duchess, so we don't have to say Duchess all the time. And also we call her Butter. I don't know where that came from, but we call her Butter, and Butt, and Dutch. And then I'll go ahead and answer Booger's questions, and you guys know Booger has also passed on. So Booger's name was Booger. My sister actually named her because she was her cat, and I thought Booger was a really cute name. She was a calico tabby mix, and she was so pretty. I always thought she was one of the prettiest kitties ever because she reminded me of fall and like all the different colors of the leaves outside. So I got her the same year I got Dutchie. So it was like a couple of months after I got Dutchie, we had gotten her, so it was around when I was 11-ish. This came from my sister's ex-boyfriend, the same one who gave us Ella and Carla. He also gave us Booger. Booger was the same exact age as Dutchie, so if she was still alive, she'd be getting ready to turn 12. One time, I had this boy up to my house, and he turned out to be a jerk. I will say that. I'm not going to say his name, but he turned out to be a jerk, but I really liked him at the time. And I believe he was getting ready to move, and I wasn't going to see him again after that. But he's like, let's play hide and seek. I don't know why, but we wanted to play hide and seek, so I said, okay, I'll go count and you go hide. So I went over to the wall, I closed my eyes, and I started counting, and I heard a noise from right behind me, and this was in my living room. I turned around. He's sitting like halfway out from my bed, like half of his body is outside of the bed, and I'm like, hi, I found you. And he's like, that's not fair. One of your cats was growling at me, and I thought they were going to attack me. I said, which one was it? I said, was it colorful? He said, yeah. I said, that was Booger. And I just thought that was funny because, like, that was the last time I talked to him. So, Booger, when she was in heat, she would go through our hallway and she would meow. Like, when they're in heat, well, she always sounded like she was saying hello or like she was dying or something. And it was kind of like she would go through the hallway and that's all you would hear. And I always like died laughing whenever she did that. Also, another funny thing that she would do is when her butt itched, this is kind of gross, I shouldn't be telling you guys this, but sometimes she would rub her butt across the floor to like itch it. Like this little stuffed chipmunk that had catnip in it, and she would drag it around the house, and it had like this big stick attached to the end of it. Also, she liked to sleep on your pillow. When you were sleeping, she would like to get up on your pillow and just sit there and like purr, and you'd have to keep your hand on her belly and just sit there and like pet her belly. I believe she pooped on me because I was petting her, and I guess I was annoying her. She was kind of like my own grumpy cat. Like, she always had that facial expression on her face. She kind of would try to like bat at you if, you know, you pulled your hand away too quickly. So one time she pooped on me. Another favorite memory of my baby's was when we first brought her home, and she was really small and her eyes were real big, and we had to give her a flea bath because like she was covered in fleas whenever we first got her. And I don't know, it was so cute because she was so small at the time. I used to call her Poo Poobie. She would come to Poo Poobie or Poo Poo. She would sometimes come to Boobs too. Boogie, Boo Boo. There was just a lot of stuff that we would call her. Okay, so this is one of two kitties that I got from the same litter, and his name is Wubsy, and he's wanting down because he hears a bird, so I'm going to let him go. And I believe he is a Bombay kitty. He's all black, and I love black cats. I also had another Bombay kitty, and her name was Midnight, and she also passed on. So how long have you had your pet friend? I got Wubsy and his sister. I got Wubsy back in 2014, so I've had him for, he was a kitten at the time, had him for 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had him for 4 years now, which is kind of sad. And Midnight I had since I was 7 years old. We got her whenever I was in first grade. So we had her for a really long time. She was actually our first official cat. Wubsy and his sister, which I'll show her in a minute, we had gotten them from my aunt because Midnight had just passed away on this year actually, and my aunt had said that someone had dropped a cat off there that looked like it was pregnant. It was a calico cat, and so we wanted to wait to see like what her kittens would like whenever she had them, because we knew that we wanted another black cat. We went and we checked them out, and there was, sure enough, a little black kitty. And I'll answer the question for his sister here in a minute whenever I show you guys her. But they had a little black kitty, and so we decided to take it. So we did get him and his sister from my aunt. Wubsy is 4 years old. Oh, also, for Midnight, we got her from the animal shelter. Yeah, so we actually adopted her from the animal shelter. And I hate it when people say, you know, just adopt, don't just shop, which it is a good thing to do, but either way, in my opinion, you're saving their lives, because either way they're going to end up at the animal shelter, you know. So Midnight was 15 when she passed away, but if she was still living right now, she would have been 19 years old. With Wubsy, it was so funny because one time I was watching this like documentary thing about UFOs, like UFOs that had been caught on camera, and you know, they were showing the footage of the UFOs, you know, moving on camera or whatever. And here comes Wubsy out of nowhere. And he's looking up at the TV. He sees a little light on the UFO, and it's just blinking. And he's standing up on his hind legs, and he's staring up at this UFO, trying to figure out a way of getting up on it. And he's looking off at the wall, thinking that it's going to come off onto the wall. I guess he thought it was a laser pointer or something. I'm not sure, but I caught it on camera and I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and ever since then I've kind of teased him about being my little UFO alien kitty. You were snoring so loud. My favorite memory with Midnight is I just kind of liked how she would come and stand whenever she wanted to be petted. Just come over and stand and stare at you into your soul until you came and you petted her. For Wubsy, he does not like to play with, you know, like the feather teasers. He doesn't really like the feather end. He likes the stick end. And if you have a pencil or something, he sees it as a stick and he wants to play with it. So he likes playing with sticks. Another quirky thing about Wubsy is he is afraid of everything. Literally everything you put in front of him, he is afraid of, and he will jump one way or another and be like freaked out by it. She couldn't climb up my bed because she was so fat. And whenever we would lay on our bed whenever I would lay on my bed going to sleep, she would have to like climb her way up to get on top of my bed. So it was kind of funny and cute, but there was a little quirky thing that she did. Also, she did not play with regular toys. She liked, like, balls of yarn, like string and stuff. Well, I have so many, but one that really stands out to me is whenever we would go up to my aunt's house to, play with the kitties, because we had to wait till they were fully weaned from their mom before we could take them. Like, I went to go take a picture of him, and he lifted his head up and looked directly at me in the picture, and it was the cutest thing in the world. And he loves his picture taken. He's a little camera ham. And another thing that was a favorite memory with Wubsy was his little brother or sister, when they were still babies, climbed onto my lap and fell asleep right on my lap. And it was the cutest thing in the whole wide world. I actually got a picture. As for Puss, my favorite pastime with her is that she would always be on my bed, asleep. Like, even when I moved into my sister's room and made it into my room, like, she started coming in here and sleeping on my bed. Like, she was always with me, 24/7. For Wubsy, I call him Wubs or Wub Wub. And for Midnight, we called her Puss, like Puss in Boots. Carla's snoring on my bed, so if you hear anything, that's her. So this is Cuddles. This is the most famous kitty of mine because of the whole cat vlog thing. And this is Wubsy's sister, so they came from the same exact litter of kittens. This is a cat, and she is an orange tabby. I've had her the same amount of time I've had Wubsy, which has been 4 years. I got her from my aunt, like I said, same litter of kittens, and whenever we got Wubsy, I was actually talking about getting an orange kitty too. Like, I was trying to talk my dad into letting us get an orange cat as well. And at first he was kind of like, no, we have too many kitties, we can't get another one. But then whenever he seen her, he fell in love with her. And so we ended up taking her along with us as well. Cuddles is also 4 years old. She's the same age as her brother. I believe she was the runt out of the litter of kittens. It was her first Christmas, and I had bought them a bunch of cat toys and cat treats and stuff like that. And I had gotten this little, like, Simpsons cat teaser, and it had Blinky the three-eyed fish from The Simpsons on it. And she, like, fell in love with that toy, and she wanted to play with it all the time. It kind of got wore out and broke, and so we had to, like, take the string and stuff off of it. She still has the fish, but, like, she was in love with that toy, so that was kind of one of my first favorite memories with her. But she's just done, like, a bunch of funny stuff that I would say is my favorite memory with her. There's just way too many to count. Oh my god, everything. She plays with everything. Literally anything this cat will find, she will play with. Like, she plays with ice cubes. Like, anytime she hears you getting into the ice machine and hears you rattling around the ice cubes, she will come running, wanting you to throw an ice cube down on the floor so she can go move it around and play with it. She has this little teaser, and it has a little snake on it. And every single day she will sit on the coffee table and sit there and stare at me till I pick up that teaser and I start playing with her with it. Oh my god, there's way too much. She's just a quirky kitty, okay? She's very special. I had this little pumpkin pill, which I still have, by the way. And I decided, you know, since they were small enough at the time, because they were still kittens, that I was going to put them inside of this pumpkin pill and take a photo. And I still have the pictures. I'll have to show you guys. But she fit right inside the pumpkin pill, and she peeped her little face over the side of it, and I got the cutest picture. Oh my god, I know one. One time we were eating popcorn, and I guess one of us had dropped a piece onto the table, and she had came over, and I guess she was sniffing it. And she lifted her head up, and my mom said, Cuddles. And Cuddles turned her head around, and that piece of popcorn was stuck right here to her nose. Oh my god, it was so funny and so cute at the same time. But nicknames that I call her are Cuddlebug, Tuddles, Tud Tud, Buggy. Now this is my kitty Rocco. He is a British short-haired tabby mix. I'm not 100% sure. The reason why I say that is because he's got these really big fluffy chipmunk cheeks that British short-haired cats have. So I've always assumed that that's what kind of cat he was, even though I'm not 100% sure. 5 years now I've had him. Well, one time he was on our porch and we came around the corner and we seen him, and there was another cat that I was taking care of that ended up going to my neighbor's house, and she ended up taking him in. But he would come around with him and, you know, come searching for food and stuff. So that was how I found him. And he was kind of an outdoor cat for a long time. And he stayed outside and everything. And I had been taking care of him for a long time, feeding him and petting him and playing with him and all that other stuff. And I decided, you know, I want to take him in and make him my own cat since I had been taking care of him for so long. And so my parents finally agreed to it. We ended up getting him neutered and bring him inside. And how old is your pet? I don't really know for sure, but I'm assuming he's around the same age as Dutchie, which is like 11 or 12-ish. He might be a little bit older than that, but that's what I'm guessing. Oh my god. So one time I had a boo-boo and I had band-aids on my scratches and I fell asleep. And you know how sometimes when you fall asleep, you know, your band-aids will fall off in your sleep and go somewhere in your bed, or you'll wake up with them somewhere else on your body. So I had woken up this next morning and one of my band-aids was hanging out of my hair, and my mom's like, "You've got a band-aid in your hair." And I was like, "Yeah, there might be another one around here somewhere," because I had another one on this other scratch. A couple seconds later, I walk into my room. Here's Rocco walking along, and he has this band-aid stuck to his side. And I was laughing so hard, dude, that I literally thought that I was going to die. Like, it was so funny. The coffee table. If you have the coffee table setting, and you have, like, something on the side of the coffee table, say a cup or something, for example, and he's sitting right there next to it, he will turn his head like this, and he will knock it off. And he'll literally knock off everything off the table if you don't catch him in time. So that's one thing. Another thing is that late at night, he'll get into what I like to call the Sour Patch Kid mood, where, you know, he'll get like in this like attack mode and he'll want to start attacking everything and everyone. And then a couple seconds later, he'll come up to you wanting you to pet him and love on him. And that's why I called it the Sour Patch Kid mood, because first he'll be sour and then he'll be sweet. I used to, whenever he was an outdoor cat, I would come outside and wrap him up in a blanket. He would sit on my lap and I'd have to sit there and pet him for a while. And a couple times I brought him in and watched like Disney movies and stuff with him. I read books to him. So I'd have to say those are probably some of my favorite pastimes with him. And I'd always stand up for him if someone, you know, was trying to be mean to him or something like that. So I call him Taco because Rocco rhymes with taco. Also, I forgot to say where I got his name. I actually got it from the 90s cartoon Rocco's Modern Life. But I call him Taco because taco rhymes with Rocco. And then I also call him Rock. So there's that. And then the last cat, which also passed on, was named Tigger. So I will also show you guys a picture of him as well. So Tigger was my sister's cat, and we named him Tigger off of Winnie the Pooh, obviously. Whenever he was a kitten, he had some lines on his side, which ended up disappearing and getting darker with time. But that was originally why we named him Tigger, and plus he was a little jumping bean when he was a kitten. So yeah, he was a cat, and he was actually a snowshoe Siamese cat. He was so pretty. We had him ever since, I believe, I was 10 and my sister was 13 years old. There used to be this thing around here called an ad bulletin. I don't know if they had that everywhere, but someone had posted that they were giving away 2 kittens. We stopped at the store and she said, "Which one would you like?" And my sister said, "I would like that one," which was Tigger. And so we took him, and that's how we got him. Lord, I want to say he was like 12 or 13 whenever he passed away. My sister's gonna kill me for talking about this, but it was so funny to me. So I think one time my sister pissed him off, and we went somewhere. We went shopping or something. We came back home. I was standing in the hallway, and my sister opened up her door to her room, which is this room now, which is mine. But at the time it was hers, and her bed was in here. And she walked into her room, and she's like, "Ew, Tigger," because she had Tigger in here. And there was a big pile of cat poop sitting right in the center of her bed. Like, she had pissed him off or something, and like he took like a giant massive shit on her bed. It was so funny. It was one time I was spending the night with my sister in her room, and I couldn't sleep because it wasn't my bed. And she had a little nightstand sitting beside her bed. And Tigger was standing up on the side of her nightstand, and I guess he was playing with me. And he was kind of like moving around. He was like, "You want some of this? You want some of this?" And my sister's trash can was sitting right beside the nightstand. So he kept doing that, and then all of a sudden he just falls head first into her trash can. I was trying so hard not to laugh because my sister was like dead asleep right beside me, but it was so funny. What are some quirky things about your pet's personality? So, Tigger loved cheese. Now, cheese, and he would always want like a little lick of your ice cream. Like, he loved ice cream. Anytime he smelt that, like, he'd be out. If you pet him for too long and he didn't want you touching him anymore, he would try to bite you, and all you would hear is a sound. Another quirky thing about him was that, I hate saying this on camera, but like, he had a really stinky butt. Whenever he would poop, like, he would stink up the entire house. I'm not even kidding. Like, the entire house would smell like his poop. Like, anytime he would poop, my mom would say, "Well, Tigger let the devil loose." Would stay in here. My sister would be at school or something, and I was a little kid at the time, and I would sneak into my sister's room and play with him. Another memory with him was whenever we first got him fixed, and we had came the next day to pick him up at the vet or whatever, and she brings him out in the carrying case, and she said, "He's still a little loopy from the pain medication, so you might want to give him a little while." And I looked down in the case, and Tigger, his eyes are all bright and wide, and he's just like looking up at the ceiling, like he's seeing little fishes or something flying around his head. I don't know. It was so funny. Well, we would call him Tiggs and Bubba, Bubby, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, those were all of the questions for all of my cats, including the ones that have passed on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become a morbid maniac. And if you were curious, yes, I will leave the other version of the Furry Friend Tag that I did forever ago, even though it's probably really embarrassing. So you guys can go check that out. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in my next video. And there's hair like flying everywhere now. Okay. Alright. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Wubsy.
Alright. Okay, you're fine. You're fine, Wubsy.